Medical news now, and I'm afraid we're going to be a bit lavatorial for the next 10 minutes. The idea of a poo transplant sounds ridiculous, but it is in fact a proven remedy for antibiotic-resistant C. difficile. The treatment, which is properly called fecal microbiota transplant, consists of having a donor's fecal material put into your gut to insert a dollop of useful bacteria there. It is simply a more extreme form of what you get by drinking one of those probiotic yogurts. While it cures C. difficile, there's been so much excitement about gut bacteria, some think they're the cure for many things. We'll digest the whole topic with Dr. Jeremy Sanderson in a moment, but first, Anj Ahuja, and I should warn you, there are explicit pictures here.
Now what I'd like you to do for me is to take a deep breath in and breathe out.
Is it really true that this, having a stranger's poo put inside you, can help you?
I went to the toilet just more out of habit and more out of curiosity. And I did my first normal poo I had done in, I'd say, knocking on 2 years.
But how far can faeces take us? And what are the dangers?
That's a very controversial statement.
Yeah. Isn't it huge? And we don't have the evidence to back that up.
It's not exactly polite dinner conversation, but it might be a lifesaver.
Feedback saying that it's kind of almost life-changing procedure.
You're giving something which costs nothing to yourself to give, but can save somebody's life.
St Thomas's, like many hospitals, is doing well at controlling hospital-acquired infections such as Clostridium difficile. But there's still a hardcore of patients who don't respond to antibiotics. 1 in 5 of those patients will die of their recurrent C. diff. And that's where fecal microbiota transplants, or stool transplants, come in.
So we get the sample from the fridge.
Dr. Simon Goldenberg is a microbiologist at St Thomas's. A sample has just come in from a stool donor and it needs to be processed as quickly as possible to preserve the bacteria.
So the first step is to dilute it out and to mix it up so it's a nice consistency. So that goes into the protein shaker. And we're very careful to make sure that the top is properly screwed on. And then we give it a shake. So you can see that the consistency has changed quite a bit. It's almost like a milkshake. So we just filter out most of the undigested particles.
That literally just looks like a tea strainer.
Yeah, and it pretty much is. Take that away.
Does the smell bother you?
It's something you get used to, I suppose. And so then it just goes into a container, and then that now goes into the deep freeze.
The stools are given to patients via a colonoscopy. The theory is that the good bacteria in human waste will kill off the infection. So far, 3 people have undergone the procedure, all successfully. But who should they be thanking? Alda James is a business support manager at the Hospital Trust.
It's like giving blood, but it's exactly, for me, it's exactly the same kind of thing. I know most people seem to find it quite amusing actually, or sort of say, you know, but it's just human waste.
How did you feel when your sample passed muster? Fist pump. So you've got good poo.
Yeah.
Is that reassuring?
That's really flattering.
St Thomas's, along with at least 3 other NHS hospitals, now offers stool transplants, but only for patients with recurrent C. difficile. It has an impressive 90% success rate, but there's a growing interest in using it for other conditions. I went to visit the private Taymount Clinic in Hertfordshire.
So I'm just going to uncover you. Okay.
This patient is having a stool transplant at the Taymount Clinic, administered via a course of enemas. But he doesn't have recurrent C. diff. He has multiple sclerosis.
We ran through the 10 treatments to replace the gut flora. The patient said his gut felt great. He went back to the United States. The next thing we know is the neurologist sent us a short video, walking unaided and with quite a confident stride.
Despite these patient stories, the Taymount Clinic claims not to treat any clinical disorders, just to correct gut bacteria. But if you go to the website and click on conditions, you'll find mention there of depression, Parkinson's disease, and even autism.
And
so you can
they talk
change
about
the
it.
symptoms of autism by normalising the gut bacteria.
We appear, by normalising gut bacteria, we appear at this stage that bacteria engage with the neurological system in a way that perhaps we don't fully understand yet, but appears
You're
to
aware
be
that's a
normalising.
very controversial statement.
Yeah, isn't it huge? And we don't have the evidence to back that up.
Why don't you
It's
get
just
the
that
evidence?
we see it.
Why don't you collect the evidence?
It's
If you're
so
offering
early.
this, you've had 400 patients. I mean, surely your duty to medical science is to be collecting the evidence that you're seeing
Yes,
in a systematic way
yes.
and publishing it.
And we will, at some
When?
point, publish.
Despite the lack of firm evidence for anything other than C. difficile, patients are queuing up to give stool transplants a go. James Mooney, who has suffered for years with ulcerative colitis, finished his treatment 2 weeks ago.
I first was like, oh God, that sounds horrible. Because just the idea of having someone else's poo. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not squeamish. So I was quite open to the idea, and I think when you are ill like that, and you look at anything, Saturday night after the first week of treatments, I rolled over and just didn't feel anything. And actually thought I feel different here. So I went to the toilet just more out of habit and more out of curiosity, and I did my first normal poo I had done in, I'd say, knocking on 2 years.
And how do you feel now?
I wouldn't say I'm back to square one, but I would say I feel pretty similar to what I did prior to starting the treatments. I'm 90% sure it does do something for me, so I think it just probably needs regular maintenance.
You're not being irresponsible offering fairly desperate patients an unproven treatment.
Okay, the consultation process is there to ensure that we don't carry out a treatment when it's inappropriate.
So do you turn patients away before they've even signed up?
Absolutely, it's not a default situation at all.
Science is only now waking up to how important gut bacteria are to health. Stool transplants have been shown to help with C. difficile, and clinical trials are now underway for inflammatory bowel diseases and ulcerative colitis. Only time will tell whether human waste really is the panacea that so many are hoping for.